Welcome back to JKLive here at Citizen Television, here with the outspoken and yes, the man who calls it like he sees it, without fear or favor, Reverend Dr. Timothy Njoya. Reverend Doctor, let me just read a couple of quick tweets for you. Colo de Jesus. That's his name. Colo de Jesus. Or it could be de Jesus. It says, Reverend Dr. Timothy Njoya is the Martin Luther King of our times, saying it as like it is, fearlessly, firing from all cylinders. God bless you, Revo. That's Jesus. SOS says, the wisdom this man, Timothy Njoya, has needs to be packaged in Tetra packs and distributed all over for people to drink. And then Mandela Kegwa says, Reverend, there is no argument on this. How can we allow homosexuality? Never. It will never happen. Wasn't there homosexuality in the Old Testament?
Let me not delve into that. Let me just say this. Anything that exists, whether in the Bible or here, and it becomes politicized, then it divides people into blocks on politicization. But I have always a take. When we were fighting for the new constitution, I said that we cannot write in a constitution denying basic fundamental rights to anybody in Kenya. And we cannot write in a constitution, so and so shall be denied medicine, shall be denied this or this right. So long as everybody in Kenya is guaranteed basic human rights, rights to life, rights to liberty, rights to liberty is freedom, isn't it? Yeah. If you are guaranteed all those rights to life, to liberty, to means of existence, all those, if you are guaranteed all those things, what you are, for me, is not for me to argue. It's up to you to I'm not going to become like your advocate or an activist. Yeah,
but let's face it. Yeah. The Reverend Dr. Timothy Njoyas of the 90s don't exist anymore. They don't exist here.
Are we rejects or are we not real? I exist, don't I?
Yeah, you, but there's no, there's no you 20 years later.
I said that there is, I said there's...
Monica, do we have those pictures?
There is a bit of incompetence.
Huh? Watch this. Watch this. Look what you did. Take a look. Remember that? Do you remember that?
I can see it, but it's not that I like it very much. I felt a lot of pain.
I know. I know. You were dead.
I was in the ICU for 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
There's no one who can do this like you used to. Let's face it.
But it's a calling, it's a values,
When you look at those pictures, when you look at those images,
what you believe in,
what goes through your head?
That what I believe in is greater than me. That people are greater than me. You collectively, as a nation, as Kenyans, they were worth for me to die for. Just as I was worth Jesus to die for. I know there are causes. Today, I don't think there is something for me I would die for as that on those days. That's why I don't have a cause as great as that, because what I was fighting for, everybody is there fighting for the same. It's now a kind of, we created the space, the freedom for all people to fight for their own rights. Yeah. The rights I was fighting for, people are fighting it for themselves.
So you're saying there's nothing worth fighting for today?
It has not crystallized like that time. It was very clear people were being jailed without detention. There were about, in 1986, there were 60 people in detention without trial. They could not defend themselves in detention. They were being killed in Njoya house. Nobody knew how many people were dying of even polio or kwashiorkor, or who are dying of in Mathare or other places. They were there because I was a minister in Nairobi. I was in the slums. All those things now are no longer there. I know there's poverty, but there is no Kenya. There's no destitution. Mark you, there's a difference between poverty and.
Maybe we should be fighting corruption the same way you are fighting for.
Oh, we should. That one I can fight for. But the one thing I'm saying.
Would you get beaten for that?
I would be beaten for it, but because Uhuru is doing it, I would rather support him, but tell him he still has some leverage remaining. He has some leeway, and I was quoting Trump. He still have legal
the windows closing.
No. He can declare emergency and he says he can himself follow those people into jail.
He's looking for a legacy, Reverend Doctor. He's looking for a legacy.
No, legacy is not looked for. It's an outcome. You don't work for legacy. I didn't work for legacy or to be Njoya. I had a calling, I had a vocation. I was serving God. That's not, the outcome is unpredictable. You cannot predict your own legacy. It's for us to remember you if we want. Yeah, if we don't want to remember you,
then we won't.
Then we won't.
Those people who beat you up, you did forgive them, right?
I was not being beaten to forgive. I didn't want to waste time. I was not going to the street to forgive. I was going to fight for a cause which I obtained. So they were there also. Mark you, why should I forgive them? It's them who should forgive me.
For what?
I took them, I overthrew them from power.
So you won in the end?
I won. I dismantled the one-party state. Why should I? If I put myself in their place, yeah. And I find that they lost. I didn't lose anything. Yeah. I'm still alive.
What about the man who allegedly sent them? Former President Daniel.
He lost the power. He is no longer president. He would be president.
To this day?
He said he was alive. Khan was going to rule how many years?
100 or 1,000 or whatever it was.
He would be in power. But I'm saying now that he is not in power, I can tell him, sorry, Mzee Pore, I was instrumental to a removal from power. Yeah. But where did he remove me from?
So in the end, you won.
God won.
God won.
God won.
Monica, should we take a look at tweets? Okay. Reverend Doctor, let's take a look at the tweets which have been coming in thick and fast. Rob Jick says, the rich people and politicians have learned the Kenya law regarding corruption and have realized it is easy to buy freedom. We haven't seen anything yet unless stiff law is set with severe consequences and with a very firm and very honest judiciary. God bless Kenya. Billy Wangila says, I support the Reverend on this. We need to hang a few of the corrupt. We just have to do something out of the ordinary and just maybe we might see some good results. Some people agree with your hanging theory. Joe Kiash says, handshake was evil. It has robbed us the little courage we had to deal with issues before we wake up from the plastic peace sleep. Kenya will be a shell, economically dead. Very sad. Shiro Stanley says, it is not the end of days, Jeff. It's the beginning of a new era. Things must get worse before they get better. Night must prevail before the morning comes. A revolution is brewing under because hardworking Kenyans are tired of being mules for a few select. Do you agree with that?
Very much.
Shiro Stanley.
Very much. Yes.
J. Miroro 82 says, I wonder what the president can tell us now. Honestly, Kenya is a blessed nation. We have enough money to feed, healthcare for every Kenyan, but it's a shame the same wealth is directed to a few individuals. Who can save us now? Jesus should come already. Reverend Doctor, you didn't comment there.
Yes, it was wonderful. I am liking people preaching. They're also preaching to me.
They are, huh?
Yeah, they are preaching
text
to
messages.
me.
David from Saika, Nairobi says, kindly ask Reverend Njoya, what is his view on the matter of gambling that is invading our country as a form of employment?
Escapism from poverty. The poor are getting poorer and they are being impoverished by part of what I call the class of the rich.
So it's a false promise.
It's a false promise. It's a euphoria again.
And it's also a drug, huh? Because it drags you in there.
Of course, it addicts.
It's an addiction.
It's an addiction.
Mungo, we have the worst constitution that opened all the gates to immoralities, tribalism, and theft ever. And we mustn't be hypocritical.
That one I don't agree. It gives him that space, whoever it is, to speak like that.
Muhammad Ali from Wajir says, as a concerned and patriotic Kenyan, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta needs to take swift action about this never-ending scandal after scandal. Corruption is the biggest challenge to the Big Four legacy.
Of course.
Corruption is the biggest challenge.
And don't forget there is 2030 vision 2030, which seems to be being put under the carpet of the Big Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph Lister Nyaringo, all the way from New Jersey, USA, says, Jeff, kindly ask Dr. Njoya why the church has failed to advise President Kenyatta to crack the whip on corrupt government officials in his administration. Is there any hope for this country when looting has hit the apex? Is there hope?
Some church people are birds of a feather with the same people. If they are going to bring that money to the church and be blessed, as somebody said, and be cleansed, then they are birds of a feather.
Do you support the church regulation bill about to be presented in Parliament?
I was part of it.
You were part of it?
Yes.
Why did you agree to preside over the funeral of the activist who died while aborting?
How do you know? I couldn't establish. The father, even if she was aborting, her children, she has 2 children who are left, motherless. Don't you care? Compassion is very, very, very Jesus. Jesus had compassion, and compassion to the parents who didn't abort even if she aborted, who lost a daughter, and compassion to a husband who lost a wife.
Yeah.
Or doesn't that person, does she hate sin so that she will hate people also?
Good point. Ask the Reverend to tell us what we should do with husbands and wives who are thieves.
Go back to the Bible. Acts of Apostles, Ananias and Sapphira. One fell, then the other one came and he was told the feet that has gone to bury your husband are those, follow them. You see, the question is that there are no exception. Corruption has no relatives. No, it doesn't have. It has no intimacy.
Yeah.
It's a sin by itself.
At the end of the day, Reverend Doctor, it's a hope. You talked about it in the first half. For hope for this country. We have a constitution that's about 9 years old now.
I'm not jumping out of Kenya yet. There's a lot of hope. Hope in that we are talking and we are still critiquing ourselves. We are reflecting. I think we are a great nation in that no matter what, in what conditions, we are able to criticize ourselves. We are going to reflect on what we are doing and what we are. We can talk about our president the way we want, and without feeling that tomorrow I'm going to detention or I'm going to be shot. Maybe we haven't come to that stage. I think that Uhuru is criticizing his government in front of everybody. And I think that those critiques are signs of hope, however marginal they are. Yeah. Yes, I'm not praising Uhuru, but I'm praising his critique of his own government, that there are corrupt people there. Only that, if he hangs 3, he will teach the rest.
Reverend Doctor, we're going to have to leave it at that. If he hangs 3, then the rest will fall in line.
That will follow in line.
Which 3?
3 of his cabinets.
Reverend Dr. Timothy Njoya.
Or former cabinet, whatever they are.
Just 3.
3.
Pick 3.
3.
Hang them.
Hang them. And maybe 2 or 1 and 1 judge. And one MP. Yeah. Jubilee MP.
Yeah. One of his own.
One of his own.
Yeah.
And that would be a lesson for the rest.
And the rest of us will fall in line.
Yeah.
You'll think twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
We'll fall in line.
Hang them high.
Yes.
Reverend Dr. Timothy Njoya, folks. This man, He calls it like he sees it, speaks from the heart, and yes, he says there's no other country. He's not about to leave Kenya. This is the greatest country after all. We just have to put all hands on deck and build this country together and just stop stealing. Just stop this horrendous stealing. That's it. And hang 3 people. Remember, every Wednesday, it's the 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL, right here on Citizen Television. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning on Hot 96 on the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa. Hashtag Jeff and Hamo on Hot. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Thanks so much for tuning in every Wednesday. Keep it locked right here on Citizen Television. Good night, good luck, and God bless this great nation of ours called Kenya.
And thank you so much.